Now, you start off with 500 grams of flour, roughly about half it you put into a bowl. You then add all the yeast you're going to put into the whole mixture, which is 20 grams. Then you add enough water into that to make a batter. Now, basically, you add enough water, you pour it all in, little bit at a time, get a whisk, a hand whisk, whisk it all up, and it turns into a batter, like you're making a pancake. So you put your finger in it, and it'll drop off into long drops, okay? That's the perfect consistency. The consistency then, you will leave. You'll just leave it in an ambient environment. It doesn't have to be too hot, it doesn't have to be too cold, it'll still rise anyway. And in about 2 hours' time, it ends up like this. And if you look on the side of this bowl here, the residue that's sticking to the side of the bowl, that's how far it's risen. It's risen that high, and then it's dropped back down. It's what we call a full drop in the industry. It's risen and then fallen back. All the yeast has eaten all the ingredients in the flour, filled itself up. It's like drinking a load of Coke and then going, burping, and the thing goes, it deflates. It's exactly what's happened in here. So if you look inside these holes, if I just rip that top skin off, you can see the air holes in there now. The stringy bits. Now it's like making a ciabatta. It's like making a ciabatta mix. It's Italian bread, a real Italian bread. The next thing to do is add the rest of your flour to this dough. The salt for 500 grams, which is 15 grams of salt goes in there, a splash of olive oil, and then water, but keep the dough nice and soft when you're mixing it, and then leave it again for about another hour. Let me just make a bit of space here, and I'll show you what it comes out like. It comes out like this. Now this is the dough after a couple of hours. Again, it's risen up, and look at the air holes in there. You see how stringy, irregular. You probably get a better idea if I just tip this bowl up. You see all the stringy bits? That's what you're looking for, irregular air holes, like a ciabatta almost, and that's a good pizza base. Flour on your table, tip this fella out onto there. Look how stringy it is. It's really unusual. It's not like an English dough. It's very different. It's a lot smaller than English dough. Then all you want to do is roughly shape your dough. It will be really soft. You hardly want to touch it too much. Gently press it out with your fingers, like so. Find your baking tray. If it's that big, spread it out to the size of your baking tray so it's nice and thin. Stud it with a knife, pierce it all the way through. And then what we're going to do in the trade is call it a blind bake. Now a blind bake, let me get rid of this. You place your dough in the oven hot, 230, for about 5 to 10 minutes until it kills the yeast. You'll feel it because A, it's got colour on it. This one is dead now. You can do it circular, square, whichever way you want. If you feel it now, it's dead. The yeast is not moving anywhere. So in effect, the base is already cooked. It's finished. It's ready. You can eat that now. What you're going to add to this is tomatoes, olive oil and garlic, which I've reduced in a pan here. That goes straight onto the top of the pizza base. All I've done, medium temperature, and just cooked off the tomatoes. That then goes all over the top of your base. The next thing to add to it is gorgonzola. You just want to rip off little pieces at a time, place it on top, like so. Gorgeous. You just want a hint of it. You don't want to put too much of it on, although most people say that's not excessive, but you don't want too much of it on there because then your buffalo mozzarella goes on. And you want loads of this stuff laid all over the top. It's gorgeous, this recipe, especially in weather like today, where you don't want to go out. It's a bit grotty, it's a bit damp, it's a bit moist. Just stay home and make this. It takes a while to make the pizza base. Most people just whack the dough together and that's it. But this is the real way to make a proper Italian dough. Cover it all over the top. The next thing to add is basil, or basil. A lovely herb with pizza. Rip it and spread it all over the top. Big chunks of it. Look at the size of that pizza. It smells gorgeous now. Everything in there is pure. It's good for you. The next thing to add before it goes into the oven is cream, and a lot of it. So you pour this all over the top of your pizza and then bake it in a very hot oven for about 15-20 minutes. And if my timing is perfect, I should have one in the oven. And I'll bring one out now and show you. Oh, beautiful. Very hot. The smell of the cream. If I move that, you can see the cream on it. It's still very hot. Now, the trick is, at this stage, you get your ham, your Parma ham, rip it off, and then start laying the ham all over the top of your pizza while it's still hot. It's important that it goes on when it's still hot because you want to almost warm it through, cook it a little bit, and spread it all over the top. And another piece. If you can't get Parma ham, you can use a good honey glazed ham, which is just as good actually. I've tried it with honey glaze, it's very, very good. Another one you could try is Virginia ham, which I used to put on when we were over in Italy. But this makes it very different, very luxurious, and this you serve beautifully. This will probably feed about what? 8, 9, 10. Jenny's family. Jenny. Let me just put one more slice on. One more slice right across the top. Absolutely good. Take your time. Oh, that smell just dying. I get all the vultures are hovering now. They're all waiting to tuck into this one. To make luxury pizza, mix 200 grams of flour with the yeast and add 160 ml to 200 ml of water to whisk. Leave to rise for approximately 2 hours, then knead in the rest of the flour along with the salt, oil and water. Place the dough back into the bowl and leave to double in size. Then roll out into a large circle and place on a baking tray. Bake in a hot oven for 5 minutes. Meanwhile, chop the tomatoes, garlic and add a splash of water and cook in a pan for 5 minutes on a medium heat. Place the mixture on the pizza dough, crumble the gorgonzola on top, rip the basil and buffalo mozzarella and scatter over the top. Pour over the cream and place in an oven at 220 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes.